So, with this whole Brock Turner controversy and hearing a lot of friends going through sexual assaults and some rapes going on, things like that, I just felt like it was a good time for me to share a side about myself that most people don't know. Um, so, starting at the age of 4, I was first sexually assaulted when I was right before I turned 5, so I was 4 years old, and uh, about 8 years old was the first time I was raped. By the time I was 10, there were four different guys sexually assaulted me, two of which had raped me. So it was a pretty screwed up childhood, and which meant, I had a really mixed up mindset for going into my teenage years. There was one time in middle school that I heard some girls talking about that they wanted to wait until they got married to have sex, and I just did not understand because I thought everybody was going through what I had went through. So to hear them talk like that, I was confused. And so as a teenager, the first guy that I went out with, it quickly went into something more when we were alone and started having sex, and I was crying and I just kept saying I want to go home, and he did stop because, that's pretty much a turnoff. So he let me go. And, the next time I was with the guy, same thing. I cried. But with this one, he actually stopped and he talked to me. And it was kind of a good and bad thing, but he told me, sex doesn't have to be bad. It can be enjoyable and things like that. So with him, things got better and I was able to learn how to enjoy this process. But at the same time, the childhood I had made me realize or feel like I didn't have any choice. So I felt like that's just the way it was. I was supposed to be servicing men and pleasing men the way they wanted. So for the next quite a few years, I was very promiscuous. Anytime a guy wanted to go out, and I pretty much let him do whatever. If I liked the guy or I knew the guy pretty well, then maybe it was enjoyable. But there were plenty of times where I was just not there. I kind of space out and just let things happen, or date rape situations happened and things like that because I didn't know I had a choice. So up until early adult years, this happened and this continued until I found myself in church actually, and a real good relationship with God that I treasure. But I realized finally that I could say no. I didn't know all that for so many years, that I actually had a choice. So in turn, I ended up pushing men away, and from there, I stayed away from guys. I built up a wall because I was terrified of going back to the old ways, the way things had been for so long. And through actually the last couple of years, I've been able to work through some of that and start trusting again, and start letting people get close to me, people in general, but also men, and have some great guy friends that have helped me. That whole, we have a crazy rape culture going on here where, all these women feel like it wasn't just me, there's women out there that feel like they have to please men in order to get attention. They have to be there just for them and do whatever they expect of them. Our women don't feel empowered whatsoever. They don't realize that they can say no. From a young age, as a teenager, these girls out there, that's the way they start. They think that they have to service men, that they're only there for these guys. And our men as well, our young men start off as thinking that women are conquests. They don't respect them. They don't appreciate, there are great guys out there, but there are very many guys out there, quite a few guys out there that are not, that they don't respect us whatsoever. They don't respect women, and these young, beautiful girls out there are nothing more than someone to seek pleasure from. So, in my opinion, we definitely need to change that. Our guys should be holding their other men friends accountable. We should be teaching our young men to respect women and not to be conquering women. women should be empowered to be able to say no and to be able to do something if something does happen to them, to be able to speak up, because there's a lot of silence going on out there. I was given the choice if I wanted to say something anonymously, and that's just not me. It's not a great thing. I'm not going to go around telling the world, introduce myself and tell them my story, but to me, if I can say one thing to one person and it would help them through their whatever story that they're living through at the moment, or through their past, then this is worth it. If I can say anything at all to help somebody, then great. This is exactly it. And we shouldn't be silenced because of our shame. I am ashamed of what happened as a teenager and as a young adult, because some people think I should have known better, but the way I was grown, or the way I was raised, from these strangers that did these things to me or whatever, I didn't know any better. So to me, in my mind, I shouldn't be ashamed of it. Now I understand that. But for so many years, I didn't know that. And now I have the voice and I have the strength to be able to speak up and do something about it. This is just my opinion, and this is just my story. So I'm hoping that it could help somebody else. And please feel free to share. I definitely, there's a little thing going around that people want to start sharing and doing. It's called Shout Your Rape. So I want to be able to get out there and just say what I've been through. So maybe it'll empower somebody else. So thanks for watching.